SOFI update here on the 27th. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 long-term patterns. All 3 patterns are bullish, probably into the end of the year, I would say, unless we get a big market correction. I would say they're all going to be bullish into the end of the year. Let's go ahead and go over them. So the first one is the one I've been talking about for a while now. That is, this right here is either A or 1. It can be either a diagonal, like that, or it's just an ABC move. So that, either way, the minimum target on this one is up here around 16 bucks. 16.65 is the minimum, with a potential maximum upside on the C wave at 21.20. And then if it ends up being 5 waves, then it would look like this. $46 would actually be the target. So that's the first bullish long-term move. The second one, I haven't talked about this one on the video at all, would be that this is 1, 2, and then this is actually the first wave of the overall third wave. This is the second wave of the overall third wave. This would look like, similar to the last move, it would look like this. But this would only be the third overall wave right there. Just like that. And then we would pull back at 45 bucks. And then go higher. Who knows how high it could go. Maybe it goes to 70, 80, 90 bucks. Whatever. It'd be going much, much higher after that. So those are both extremely bullish patterns. And honestly, if either one of those is correct, well, actually, the second one, if it's correct, this should be the longest wave of all. This wave should absolutely take off, because in Elliot wave, the third wave of the third wave is usually the longest wave. So I would probably expect, if it is a third wave of the third wave, to go to at least 21 bucks, but maybe even higher than that. So think like Palantir kind of move. So those are the first 2 patterns I see for long-term bullish move. The third one is the bear count, and that is going to be still bullish short term. This is still very bullish, but it's going to be, we get up here to like 13, 14 bucks, and this ends up being, it goes something like this. This ends up being A, B, and we get a C wave back down here. That's going to take a overall market correction, or maybe something in the banking sector goes wrong and SOFI tanks with the banking sector. Something really big time. So those are the 3 patterns I see long term. Let's get into the short term price action now. So now going down to the hourly, and this is really all you need to focus on. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in a 5th wave of the overall third wave. To me, this looks most likely like we're in a 4th wave right here. So it looks to me like this is a, let's actually double check here. This is kind of debatable right here. Either that or the 4th wave ended right here. Let me zoom in a little bit farther. So yeah, this looks to me like an ABC move. So like that. And then we get a little move up here. We pull back. So I think that we're likely in first wave, second wave. This is a third wave. Pull back, 4th wave. And we are ready for a 5th wave higher. What is the price target for this overall move? I'm looking for 12.15. So I'm looking for something like this tomorrow or after earnings, up to here. And then that would be the overall third wave. I don't know the expected move right now. I'm guessing it's probably $1. I would imagine though. So that would make a lot of sense going to 12.15. If it does pull back here, let's say it pulls back tomorrow and comes back down into here for some reason. I haven't looked at the overnight price. Then I would say it's potentially starting a fourth wave. So I would say that third wave maybe ended right here. We're making a fourth wave pullback. And it would still be extremely bullish because we would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So either way, it's extremely bullish. I think the second scenario is less likely. I think this is more likely. Invalidation for the move up is going to be if we come back down and break below 1057. But again, it's earnings, so I mean the move's just going to be straight up or straight down. The invalidation is probably not going to matter that much because we're going to wake up and the stock's going to be way down or it's going to be way up. But based on this chart, I would say it's going higher. So anyway, those are the three patterns I see long term. And what I see for tomorrow, I expect 12.15, potentially higher. Who knows? You could get an extension. You could get something like this. Could get something up here to 15 bucks. Probably not though. Maybe 13, 14 bucks. And just get a ridiculous move higher. The minimum target for all those scenarios is like 13, 14 bucks, but for the first two scenarios, again, is 16.72. So going back to previous videos, people are commenting that I caused them to lose money. I'm going to start just talking about deltas. If you don't know what delta is, go watch Tasty Trades. They have a million videos on options. Learn to manage your deltas. Because down here, when we were at 7, 8 bucks, I was telling you in the videos, I thought we were going to 550, but I said that I was heavily positive delta. I was still heavily positive delta. Why was I heavily positive delta? Because what's the point of trying to guess perfectly for this 550 move when we have so much upside? I had hedges, but I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket for this to go down to 550. I was heavily positive delta. I was wrong, but when I was wrong, I made more money that way. So if you don't know what deltas are, go check up on it. Down here around this area, you wanted to be still positive delta. If it would have fell to 550, I would have unloaded my hedges and bought more shares. I would have been even more heavily positive delta. Up here, I'm still heavily positive delta, but not as much as I was down here. If we go to 16, 17 bucks, maybe you start hedging more and your delta comes down even more. So that's just kind of like an explanation of I'm giving short-term scenarios sometimes, but that doesn't mean you need to revamp your whole portfolio hoping that I'm right. Because if you do that, you get burned, and then you say that I caused you to lose money. No, you got to really think about the probabilities. Even if you're right, it comes down to 550, you're leaving so much on the table if you're wrong. So that's my little talk about deltas. Right now, I still think you should be heavily positive delta regardless because I think we're going higher. If down here, heavily positive delta, even if it came to 550, I was willing to take the short-term losses in order to cash my hedges and then become even more positive delta. So anyway, that's just like my talk on being positive delta when you know a stock is going higher no matter what scenario happens in the short-term time frame. So don't get mad at me if you decide to sell all your shares at 8 bucks and the stock goes to 12 bucks. To be honest, that's just dumb because we all knew, I said this in every video, this is going higher. So why would you sell right here? So anyway, that is talk on Delta. Those are the 3 scenarios. Tomorrow, expect 12.15, but we'll see what happens during the day tomorrow, and I'll probably be able to give a better idea of what's going to happen with different scenarios. You have demand here at 10.14 to 10.66. We're currently in a supply zone, but that's not going to affect earnings. Earnings will shoot it up or shoot it down. We're probably going to beat, so I would expect it to go up unless the market is correcting, but I think the futures are heavily green. So anyway, that's it for this video. I will update you tomorrow again. Let's see what happens going into earnings. But again, all 3 scenarios, I have us going higher.